Hi, this is Rich from NCAT. Some of the more difficult aspects of implementing a food safety plan are the logs and record keeping. If you are certified organic, there will be some overlap. See how Tracy and Margaret from County Rail Farm have developed a system that works for them and their farm.
So after harvesting out there, normally we would bring the truck into this bay over here, and these totes would go directly onto a scale and then into the walk-in cooler as soon as they run in. So I know that these totes weigh about 5.3 pounds, so we harvested almost exactly 5 pounds of salad. And I would go into my salad tab, write down the date, field and row. So when we were out there, I noted what field we were in and what row we were in. All of our fields are numbered from east to west, and every bed is numbered east to west. So we were in the third bed from the end over there, and that field has 13 beds in it. So I know that that was 13, 12, 11. So I would write down in here field 6, row 11, and then I write how many pounds, 5 pounds, and then we have a destination. So for us, it's personal use. Actually, I'm going to write it down right now. So the lot number that we generate is up on this board. You can sort of see up in this corner is an example, and then we're going to generate one down here. So the first number for us always stays the same. We're always at County Rail Farm. So 15 is our number through the Growers Co-op. That's the number they gave us. The next number is the date. We don't put the year on it because we're very seasonal. Doesn't make any sense to do it. Nobody's going to call us in, December and ask about arugula. They shouldn't be eating it in December. So the date is 0629. And then the next one is that field and row. So that was in field 6. It's our furthest one west. And row number 11. And then the last number is the person who harvested, which we put that in because if there's an issue with it that should have been seen in the field at the time, we can go back to whoever harvested and ask if they saw anything or if there was any contamination that they were aware of. So we have our numbers up here at the top. Margaret's number 1, I'm number 2. Chloe is one of our apprentices, Allegra is the other, so they have 3 and 5. And Steve, who harvests a lot of the fruit on the farm, is number 4, so we assigned him a number as well. So what we do with the labels when we're selling wholesale, we'll get a list from the Growers Co-op throughout the day of how many cases we sold of each product. If we're doing salad first, I would be able to look on my phone and it would say 8 12 count salad cases. So then I would count out 12 times 8. And then we would go through and put in the date, which is the 29th. Stamp it on there. And then the lot number. So we would go through and stamp all of these. And then that goes on to, we have a stash of bags, a 5-ounce bag. What's that? So ideally, we have somebody out there harvesting. When they're done harvesting, everything goes straight into the cooler. That person will either go out and help with other harvests, like for market. Greens go first, obviously, because of the heat. Or they'll come in and start making labels and bags. We'll have hundreds of those to do on any given harvest day. So somebody has to come in and sort of get that set up while we're filling the sinks, while everybody else is doing the other harvest stuff.
You're not going to lot number each bunch, but you are going to put the lot number on the box label. And so we also have these box labels we just started using. I can show you one of those.
Do you do this for the farmers markets too?
Well, we won't generate a lot number for everything that we harvest, but we would be able to retroactively generate that lot number. So we do different batches, meaning that we'll do all of the salad with the same water, and then we'll switch the water for arugula. And we have a log for that as well in our book. We have that thermometer and we have this thermometer, so we'll write down 2 temperatures
they're supposed to corroborate each other. Generally, they kind of do.
So this log just shows there's a map of the farm, so that when I'm referencing, when I'm referencing what area the rodents I'm trapping are in, I can refer to this map. And there's a sheet that just has the date that we set traps, what we're setting the traps for. So pocket gophers or mice primarily are the ones that we use. The type of control, so pocket gophers use a different trap than mice do. The traps that we have in here are different from the traps that we use in the field. The location of where the traps are, when they're checked, so I usually check them daily, so I just write daily on there. Who they're checked by, and disposal means, which is usually the dogs or the chickens in our case. And then I just put a little hash mark on the edge of how many I've trapped so far. So every year we have a materials checklist so before we applied BT for cabbage loopers, for example, I'm the one that did that, so I fill out this yearly checklist that says what I'm applying. So in this case, BT, check, I've read the instructions. This is the rate at which I apply it, which is helpful because I can also look back at last year's if I'm using the same product and remember what rate it is. And then I wrote down what materials I used, but I didn't check that off. I should do that. I understand the risks of using this material and use the following protective equipment. So in this case, I use gloves and closed-toed shoes, long sleeves, etc. And then I put the date in, my name, and sign it. And we do that for anything that we apply that is not, pretty much anything that we apply that isn't compost or manure. So in our case, it's BT and the grasshopper bait, Semaspore.
Can I say one more thing about the application?
Yeah.
So if you're using conventional pesticides and they require an applicator's license, then you would also have that on file in your food safety plan, and also make sure that you have your license up to date for your record keeping and also for the auditor. So if they look in there and they see a restricted pesticide, they will ask you for that license. And you have to, as you said, I think, you have to designate who is responsible for the application, regardless if it's an organic system or a conventional system.
So I'm just going to pass around a few more logs. This is the field application log sheet. So that's like manure, Semaspore, BT, anything you're applying in the field. And that's great for organics because they want to see that with dates on it. Illness and injury report form. If someone on the team is ill or injured, you're going to want to report that. Your insurance will love that you do that.
I think so far I'm the only one that has had to fill out.
Tracy always gets ill. She's the guinea pig. And then one of the, Jen and I were talking about the different scopes is what they call them in the audit. And so last year, I think we did the general and 3 other scopes. And these are just areas that they're checking you on. And so I think we did worker, hygiene, packing house, and field, like manure. I forget the actual names of the scopes.
So the actual names are general, farm review, and then harvest, and I think the other one you guys are certified in is packing and storage.
Yeah.
And there is another one, transportation.
Yes.
But that wasn't required by your buyer, so you didn't do that one, even though I know you did some work on it anyway.
Yes, and so that's why I brought out this log, which is farm, cart, and truck cleaning log, and that would relate to the transportation scope. And I'm not sure what else we would need to do for that scope, but we would top there. I'm pretty sure we addressed it in our plan as well.
Another important record that Margaret and Tracy use before every harvest day is their pre-harvest risk log. This provides a framework for them to identify any risks in the field and their packing shed prior to harvest.